gentlemen, we're going to do chicken, mashed potatoes, roast potatoes, mixed veg and gravy for today. So we have our items here. We have our potatoes, we have our veg, we have our chicken, and we have our butter, we have our flour, we have our olive oil, we have our gravy mix, we have our flour also, we have our pots and pans and our trays and utensils all ready to go. This is the items and foods and kitchen utensils that we'll be using today. Our potatoes, we have our potatoes here, our mashed potatoes, and we have our roast potatoes peeled as well. So we just halved and quartered the potatoes just to speed up the process of cooking the potatoes. Alright, we just preheated our oven up to 240. We're going to turn it down now to 200. So our oven is on now the last 10 minutes. Okay, so we're ready now to start the cooking process now with our chicken. Okay, we're just turning up the cooker up to 6. Our frying pan is on, so we're going to preheat our frying pan, and we're going to add in some olive oil. The pan is heating up there for the seal off our chicken, so we're just going to seal off our chicken on the pan, colour it and seal all the flavour into it, and then what we're going to do is going to put it in the oven. So in the meantime, we just put a flour mix together with salt and pepper. So what we're going to do is we're going to coat the chicken in the flour and pop it on the pan then and give it a nice, so we're just going to stick it in like so. Okay, just dust it, then put it on the pan nice and sizzling. Okay, move on to the next one. Okay, just going to dust the chicken. Okay, like so. Okay, and then just put the chicken in the pan. Okay, move on to the next two. Just going to dust the chicken. Okay, this adds flavour and it makes the chicken nice and crispy. Okay, so then we go onto the pan. So we get 4 chicken fillets onto this pan. Okay, so we're just sealing off the chicken on both sides, and then we're going to put it in the oven now, just to finish it off. Okay, so there we go. Nice and gently putting it into the pan. If you drop it into the pan, it'll splash and it'll scald us, so it's very important just to be gentle when putting the chicken in. See here, we're just turning our chicken now, sealing it on both sides. You can see the flour and the salt and pepper has given it a little bit of a coat and it's making it nice and crispy. Okay, so you can see here our chicken fillets are sealed off, so we're just going to take them out of the pan and we're just going to put them on a tray. Okay, we're just going to seal off the other couple of chicken fillets, do the exact same thing, and then when they're all ready then we're going to put them into the oven. Okay, so they're nice and sealed off there, a little bit of colour there to them as well. So we can see now our chicken is ready now for the go in the oven. It's nice and sealed off. So we've 8 chicken fillets there, and we're going to put them in the oven and we're going to cook them off. So here we have our chicken has gone into the oven now. We're just going to turn it down now to around 200. Okay, down 200. And our chicken is ready. We're going to put our chicken in the oven now for about 25 to 30 minutes. And gentlemen, we're on to our potatoes now. Okay, so we have our pan on heating and we're going to seal off our potatoes for our roast potatoes. We're just going to saute them off on the pan, and then we have our potatoes are ready for boil. So a quick way to speed up the process for cooking boiled potatoes is to add boiled water from the kettle into on top of the potatoes. So we have salt and pepper there in on top of the potatoes. So we're just going to add our water. So there we go. We're just adding our boiled water into the potatoes. Okay, so the potatoes are probably going to take about 20 minutes to boil. Alright, so we're going to fill it up there and we're going to put a lid on it now. So we're just going to add our oil into the pan. We're just going to heat it up, our olive oil. We're going to heat that up then and we're going to seal off the potatoes. So we've covered, we don't have a lid for our potatoes, so we've just covered our boiled potatoes with tin foil. Okay, so we're going to add in our roast potatoes now into the pan just to seal off. Okay, it's very important that we strain all the water off the potatoes. Have it here in the colander, because if water hits oil, you'll get a reaction out of the oil. It'll start spitting and it could burn you. So it's very important to be safe. So we're just adding in our potatoes. We're just going to golden them up, crispy them up, and then we're going to put it in the oven then for 20 to 30 minutes to cook alongside the chicken. Okay, so that's our roast potatoes, and it's gone in now. We're going to add some salt and pepper to that as well. So as you can see here, our potatoes are starting to get a little bit crispy, and they're nearly ready for going onto the tray and going into the oven. And in the meantime, our boiled potatoes are coming up to the boil, so we're just going to turn down the heat on our boiled potatoes from 6 right down to 4. Okay, have them simmer. Okay, so our roast potatoes are nearly ready to go into the oven. So our potatoes now are ready for the oven. So we're just going to gently slide our potatoes onto a tray, okay, and we're going to place them then in the oven. Okay, just going to give them a little bit of a shake, just flatten them down. Okay, and our potatoes are now ready to go into the oven with our chicken. So you can see now our potatoes are gone into the oven now with our chicken. So in another 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, our chicken and our potatoes should be ready. What we're going to do as well, we've added some salt and pepper into our mixed veg. So the same story, we had our kettle boiled. We have after turning on the cooker here up to 6. So what we're going to do is now we're going to add the boiled water into the frozen veg. We're just going to cook it there. So we have some salt and pepper in the frozen veg as well, just for a little bit of seasoning. Okay, so our potatoes are on there cooking away. Okay, boiling away. Our gravy is on. Okay, and our chicken and roast potatoes are in the oven. Here everything is cooking away. Our gravy is starting to thicken. Our veg is not far from coming up to the boil. As soon as that comes up to the boil, we're going to strain it and melt some butter and put in our veg. Our potatoes are nearly ready. We're coming up to 25 minutes now on the potatoes. So you can see there the fork is going through the potatoes. So that means that the potatoes are done. So what we're going to do is now we're going to strain our potatoes. We have a mix here made up of butter, salt and milk that I'm going to put into the microwave to heat up and melt. So we have butter, salt and milk, and this is going to go in to our potatoes to help make the potatoes nice and creamy. Okay, so our potatoes are ready now for straining. Okay, you can see here now our potatoes are strained. We're just letting them dry off, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put them back into the pot and we're going to mash them down. Milk, butter and salt and pepper mix into the microwave. We're going to heat it up, melt the butter, and then we're going to add it then to our potatoes. So there we go, our potatoes are ready for mashing. So you can either use a potato masher or a good sturdy whisk. So we have a whisk here that we're using today. Okay, so there we have our salt, pepper, our butter and our milk mix, and we're just going to add it in to our potatoes, and we're going to cream them up. good mash and cream up our potatoes, and they'll be nice and creamy now in the next couple of minutes. So there we go, our potatoes are nice and mashed, nice and creamy. Butter and milk and salt and pepper mixes after doing the job there with the potatoes. So we're after mashing and creaming the potatoes there with the whisk. It's just starting to come up to the boil now. So what we're going to do is as soon as the veg comes up to the boil, we're going to strain it. We're going to melt some butter, and then we're going to add the butter into the veg. Okay, we can see there our roast potatoes are done. They're after colouring up nice, and our chicken is also done. Okay, so we're going to check our chicken, make sure our chicken is cooked. Everything seems to be cooked, so we're nearly ready now for service. This is up to the boil now, and we're just going to strain it now, turn off the cooker, and we're just going to strain the veg now and add our butter. Strained now, so we're just going to add in our butter. Okay, and we're just going to give that a bit of a stir now, and our veg is ready for service. So our roast potatoes are cooked. You can see there the fork has gone through them. Our chicken, the best way to know whether our chicken is cooked is for to place the fork and put it in the middle of the chicken, okay, and then press down, and if the juice comes out clear, like it's coming out clear there, that means that the chicken is cooked. Okay, if that juice comes out pink or red, the chicken is not cooked. So again, fork into the middle, press down, you can see the juice coming out there is clear. Okay, another way of making sure that the chicken is cooked is, you know, if you wanted to double check, you can actually just cut the chicken in half and just make sure that the chicken is white. So here we go. So our chicken is cooked, our roast potatoes are cooked, our veg is cooked, our gravy is cooked, and our mashed potatoes. Alright, so we're ready to go now. We're starting to put our chicken, veg, roast potatoes and mashed potatoes and gravy, our lunch or our dinner together now. One of the chickens fillets in half just to demonstrate that it's cooked. So you can see it there, the chicken is white all the way through, and that indicates then that the chicken is cooked. Alright, so everything is ready for service. There we can see there, we're just at the plating up our chicken. We have our roast potatoes, our chicken, our veg, our mashed potatoes. We're just at the plating it up there. We have our roast potatoes, our veg, our mash. We just use the scone cutter there to fill a mash and put the chicken on top. So the last thing to do then is just to put a dribble of gravy just on the top, just like that. Okay, and then we have our dish. Okay, we have our chicken, our gravy, our roast potatoes, our mashed potatoes, and our veg. Okay, so it's all ready for eating now. It's all ready for service.